Hi everybody, welcome back to All About Phoenicia. Today's video is going to be about a Cricut design that I am going to show you guys how to do. We're going to make a quilt today, and we are not going to measure it the ordinary way of using the rotary cutter. We're going to use Cricut Design Space, and we are going to cut out our shapes on the Cricut Maker, and we are going to actually cut out our pieces and design them, and then we are going to sew on the sewing machine. So if you want to know how to make a quilt with the Cricut Maker, stay tuned to this video. If not, you can use it the ordinary way. You could just purchase you an 8x8 ruler, and I got this from Joann's. And you would need a 4x4 ruler, and if you wanted to make you some triangles, there are also some triangle rulers that you can get from the store as well, that you can use to be able to measure your pieces. So in this case, you would cut it off on the 4. So but if you want to know how to use your maker and actually do a quilt, I'm going to show you how to do that on this video. So you're going to log on to Cricut Design Space, and you are going to start a new project. If you need some videos or some learner videos on how to use Cricut Design Space, I'm going to put some more videos on here that details a little bit about, the functions of Cricut Design Space and the things that you can do. So I am going to go to shapes here to the left, and the first square is going to be first I should start everything all over again. What you would need is, of course, your computer. You need Cricut Design Space. You need a Cricut Maker if you're planning on using the Cricut Maker, or you need a rotary cutter, and you need like a cutting mat to be able to cut your pieces on. Like I said, you needed the rulers, and you also need your pink mat for the Cricut Maker, and this is the pink fabric grip mat. And so if you're using the maker, and if you're not, of course, you need the rotary blade, you need the rotary cutter, I'm sorry, and you need the mat, the cutting mat, or either the self-healing mat. So we got the materials all out the way. So what I want to do is design a quilt that is that has 6 rows going across and 6 rows going down of 36 squares. So I want to do some big squares, some smaller squares, some 4x4s, and you can put a 4x4 right here, right here, right here. So it will be 4 different 4x4 little squares on your big square. And then I'm going to do some triangles that equal this size. So everything has to equal this 8x8. So you can do triangles, you can do smaller squares within that big square. But whatever it is, I need it to equal the 8x8. And I need it to be 6 8x8s going across and 6 going down, horizontal and vertical. So I'm going to first start off with the big squares, and the big squares I said will be 8x8. So that is the total of the big squares. And now I don't know how many out of the 36 squares I'm going to do I'm going to do 6 of the big squares. So I'm going to need a total of 6 of these. Now, you can either print this out separate, cut it out separate, or you can do them all together. I think that I'm going to do them separate just for demonstration purposes. So I need 6 of these. So you can either take this and once you hit make it, change this to 6 copies, or you could go back to the canvas and just duplicate this square 6 times and print it out, and it's going to be 6 different times that you can do that. I prefer to do it just one and then make copies of it. I think that's easier for me. So I plugged up the Cricut maker, and let me move the camera around. Oh, of course you need your fabric. And so I went to Joann's and I got some fabric from them, and I want to use the blue in this particular video. So these are all the, let me take this one out. These are all the colors that I'm working with. I think they all go together well. When picking out fabrics that match for quilts like that, Joann kind of has a good system of what kind of coordinates together. So I think all of those colors kind of blend together. So I think it's going to be a nice, awesome, pretty quilt. Colorful design. So I want to use those colors today. All right, so I have plugged up the Cricut maker. As you can see, it's in the computer. And I'm going to need to switch my blade to the fabric blade. So I am going to cut it on. Let's move this out the way. I haven't put my Cricut maker on in a minute. I hope you guys saw me put it in, but it's simple. You're just taking it, making sure that the blade part is against the wall and this plastic part is on the outside like that. Take it and just okay. I usually have a little struggle. I don't know why. Usually things don't let me want to be great. So you're going to take your fabric mat. You're going to take the plastic covering off because you should have it on, protecting your mat from any dust particles that may appear on your mat. And you are going to place your fabric on the mat that you want to start off with. Since there's going to be 6 of the big squares, that's 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to have 1 of each of these fabric pieces. On the mat. What you're going to do is you're going to take your fabric apart, and there's a little piece of cardboard in here and measure this and see if it's a 4x4, because you can use these as your templates whenever you are making your designs as well. So this is a fabric quarter. This is the amount that you're working with, and you kind of want to not have it overlapping, because of course it's going to tear it. Now if you want to iron this, you can iron the wrinkles out of it, but I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fold it in half and then just cut it from there. I'm pretty sure that this is probably all I'm going to need for that 8x8. So what I'm going to do is just cut it with a pair of fabric scissors pieces. So to save time on the video, I am going to stop it and cut the pieces that I need. So issues with that, you can take your lint roller and kind of flatten it out as well if it won't stick. So what I'm going to kind of do, once I get ready to cut it on Design Space, make it, and then I'm going to move it down some, because I don't want this little ragged edge right here on the mat. I don't want that right there. So I want to move it down some. So I have plenty of room on both ends, top and bottom, to be able to do that. And I'm going to move it over just a little bit so that it can be good and perfect squares. So you don't need the hidden mirror. And I'm just going to leave this at 1 because I just want to make sure that this comes out right, and then I can duplicate on the other pieces. So the next step you're going to hit is this green button, and that says continue. And of course with Cricut Maker, it asks you, because you don't have the dial like on the Cricut Explorer, it's going to ask you what type of material you're using. I'm not using glitter, I'm not using felt, and I'm not using heat transfer none Cricut. I am using fabric, 100% cotton. So I am going to go down the list and look for the material that I'm using. And I must have passed it up. Let's see, fabric. And there's a whole list of fabrics right here that that you can choose from. And I'm going to use cotton. They have cotton on here. Just so you know, there's also lace, satin, chiffon, corduroy, denim, damask, double knit. There's all kinds of fabrics on here. Cashmere, burlap. I mean, there's so many different choices. But I'm going to choose cotton, because most fabric quarters are cotton fabrics. And I just passed it up, I know I did. It's in alphabetical order, so let me go back to the C's. Here we go. And I'm going to use this as a favorite because it's more than likely something that I will be working with. So it says on here the pressure is on default. It says to make sure you change it to the rotary blade and the Cricut. And so as you can see, there is a blinking light, and you're going to hit that blinking light right there. So I'm hitting the blinking light. Let me hit it again. Alright, there we go. Make sure that whenever you hit that blinking light that it advances so that it can be able to cut how it's supposed to cut. And so you're going to hit the blinking C. That means it's ready to go. So the picture square out is ready. You can hit this, and you can also hit the finish button on your computer. Let me move this out the way so that you guys can see. Once it's finished, it has the blinking light again. That just means you need to take it out. And then you can see at the bottom right here, it says finish, that green button. So you can just go ahead and hit finish. Okay, now this is your mat with the fabric that you just cut on there. And so you can take these little edges off. And so there is a perfect 8x8 square on here. There's a perfect 8x8 square right here. So I'm going to need 6 of these. In my 36 squares. Also, before you go, this was around it. This is what the Cricut cut off. You can actually keep this piece. You can actually keep this piece as well. You can use this as some kind of binding strap or something like that. So make sure that you keep your pieces. You never know when you can use those for other projects. This can actually be for my strips. This may be the right size because it's going to be 3 inches by 8 inches, and this may just be able to cut it. This looks to be 3 inches, so this may be able to work, but I'm going to keep these just in case I need them, and I suggest you do the same to save fabric.